Shalom, it's me, Baht Of Zion, and today on 2 AM Chronicles, episode 4, I wanted to speak about vulnerability. Have you ever been so vulnerable to the Creator? More vulnerable than you've ever been to anybody out here in Babylon? Vulnerability is sometimes uneasy for a lot of us, both men and women, because it leaves us accessible, mentally accessible, emotionally accessible, spiritually accessible, and sometimes even physically accessible. But the accessibility I wanted to speak on would be, of course, spiritually, mentally, and emotionally. Heck, you know what? Let's even say physically, being that we are inside of this flesh, right? Have you ever been in a situation where, or multiple situations, where you do not know the outcome, where you solely rely on your faith to get you through your day-by-day living, because you can't rely on anybody else? You used to be able to rely on yourself, as in, I gotta figure out how to get it done, or I used to be able to do this because I knew a way of getting things handled. But when you are solely relying on the Creator, Yahweh, to move things, make things, unbreak things, and do things for you in your life, that is a different type of vulnerability that makes you almost weak, almost broken. And mentally, it's one of those things that you struggle with at times, because you have to let go of the steering wheel and you have to let Yah take it. And for some people, that is truly a hard thing to do. So just knowing that you're not in control is scary sometimes. But you also don't realize that you never were in control as well. You just always thought that because you did this one act or this one service and something panned out for you, that it was you getting it out the mud or doing it on your own all the time. When in reality, it actually wasn't. It was always the Most High Yah, right? And so when you allow yourself to be emotionally vulnerable, sometimes you find yourself crying hysterically, crying out for help, crying out for a new and better way of living. And every single day that those tears run, every single day that you're going insane, or your mind is just continually battling inside of this flesh, wondering and trying to figure out how you're going to do something, you kind of overthink overthink things in the process, which the overthinking would have it where you sometimes are unable to hear the Most High's voice speaking to you because of the adrenaline that you're on due to your fear or your anxiety that you feel. A lot of times when we're happy, we're excited, we don't feel that vulnerability because we already are enjoying the things in life that make us happy. So whenever you are to yourself in every situation, bad situation plays through consistently in your mind like a tape on repeat. It opens up those doors for you to have sometimes fear. Okay? So I say that because whenever you be vulnerable with man out here in the world, that is not a safe vulnerability at all times. Some people will see that vulnerability and take advantage of you, no matter how torn and how broken they see you. They don't care. They just take advantage of you because they look at what they can get from you at that moment. They want to rise up off of your pain. Okay? But why would you allow yourself to consistently be vulnerable to people when you should ultimately be vulnerable to Yahweh, the Most High, the Creator, who created you, who knows your feelings, who already knows what you're going through? Yes, your family or your friends or any loved one, a best friend, whatever, may know exactly what you're going through. But Yahweh is more important than anyone. The vulnerability you shed and you show Yah, He's not gonna require something back from you. He's not gonna tell you that, hey, while you over here crying and sobbing and stuff, I'm gonna take something from you and we gonna talk about your troubles another day. Or whenever you on the phone crying with Him and speaking to Him about life in general, how life is tearing you up and breaking you down. Every time you get up, it's like you walking into another problem. He's not going to say, I don't have time to hear that right now. Call me whenever you're happy again, because your vulnerable state I cannot deal with. He's not going to put you on a waiting list with your troubles. And a lot of people who become vulnerable to the wrong people, and we get put on those waiting lists with people who we can actually see in the flesh in real time, are the ones who don't understand what lasting impression they're leaving on us when we are in that moment of emotional destruction. Some people end their lives when they are going through things and they choose to be vulnerable to someone who will not listen, someone who will not pay attention to them. So whenever you find yourself in a moment where you cannot speak, a moment where you see a friend or a family member who you just want to reach out to and tell them everything that's going on in your mind, be consistent and remember that you have to tell Yah first. Yah has already seen it happen to you. Yah has ultimately allowed it to happen to you because of a decision you may have made to have yourself in that situation, or a decision someone else may have made that ultimately affected you in your current day life. Or it could be a situation where someone has made a decision that has affected you in your future tense life that you would have not have been prepared for or previous to, but Yahweh was always and already previous to that destruction, that mental destruction, that spiritual destruction, that emotional destruction, to include the physical destruction that you would have went through. And he already knew that it would be him and him alone that will be there to help pull you out of that black hole. So when the precepts reign true, that you can come to him with a broken and contrite heart, always remember that is your spirit too. Yahweh wants you to come to him in pieces because he wants the glory to be able to rebuild you, to be able to pull you through that situation. When he pulls you through that situation and you give him the glory, do you not understand, royal family, that he ultimately gets the praise? Because the day that you see that I went through this and my Elohim did not forsake me, and he got me through with my life intact, my health intact, my strength intact, my flesh still intact, and ultimately my spirit leveled, elevated. And I can look back at the things that tried to break me and put a label on it that you did not succeed, but Yah did. That's how Yahweh gets his glory. That's when you stand up and you say, Torah by Yahweh, you did not allow my vulnerability to you be my destruction, present day or future tense. Shalom Barakah.